So in this video, we're going to turn this into this. And then we're going to take it out for a rip. So in the last video, we had this out in a skate park and gave it absolute hell, and this happened. So in this video, we're going to go over it all, we're going to fix it, we got a couple of upgrades to put on it, and we're also going to paint up a new body shell. Also, we got this scorched RC titanium skid plate, which is going to make it spark as the chassis hits the floor. We've also got a whole load of other scorched parts that we're going to be putting onto some other RC cars in future videos. So subscribe and smash the bell so you don't miss it. So here's the stock chassis brace. Yep, it's bent. So I've got this heavy duty stainless steel one here that hopefully is not going to bend. And if you want to know where we can get one from, I'm going to put a link to that down below. And also, there's going to be a link down below where you can get the car from and all the upgrades. So it's got these custom RC upgrades, aluminium knuckles, M2C chassis, chassis braces and shock towers, hinge pin holders, and a whole load of other goodies. Oh, it's rounded off. Oh, look, that bulkhead's had it. Got a crack there. It's ripped out of there. So this whole truck is actually running Jim's bearings, and so far, guys, they're still in perfect condition. Then you want to make sure that the diff goes back in the same way that it comes out of. If you put it back in the wrong way around, then the car's going to drive backwards. Next, we've got a snapped off screw inside the chassis brace here, look. And I think this is why the whole rear bulkhead ripped out, because I noticed that this came out early on in the bash. I carried on going, that put all the load onto this and ripped all that lot off. If there had been a piece of the bolt sticking out, we could have grabbed hold of it and wound it out, but because it's flush, I think we're going to have to weld something onto there. So this here is a TIG welder, so what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and weld that onto there, and hopefully then we can unwind it. Ah, definitely loose, but it's getting onto a bit of a tough bit. Right, I'm going to keep wiggling it, and hopefully soon we're going to get it out. That's what she said. So I got it out a little bit of the way, and the welding rod snapped off, but there's now enough of it on there, so I can just grab it with this. God, it's tight. That's what she said. Boom. So next we're going to run a tap through there just to make sure that the thread's okay. Beautiful. And there we have a freshly rebuilt rear end. Check it out, guys. With it being a little bit longer, it's going to beef up the existing chassis, make it less likely to bend. And because it's made out of titanium, guys, when this hits the concrete, going up jumps and landing jumps, it's going to make sparks. And next, we're going to have to drill a couple of holes in the chassis here just to get these two screws in. So this screw here that snapped off earlier, I want to put a longer screw in there so that if it snaps off in future, we've got something to hold on to get it out again. Trouble is, I haven't got any, so I've ordered some. When they come, I'm going to swap it over. Also, we've got a set of these brand new lipos to try out. These are pretty dirt cheap. They're graphenes, loads of C's. Hopefully there's loads of power. There's going to be a link to these down below. Oh no, look. I've just noticed the front bulkhead's got a big split in it too. But by the looks of it, it's just a cover. So hopefully we can just get away with replacing this part. But by the looks of it, the diff case is actually okay. We can just get away with just changing the cover. So next, let's paint up the body shell. So as most of you guys know, this red is my favourite colour. Look, the Creighton A-Test is that colour. The recorded Tempt RC car. My little racer up there. A couple of crawlers, monster truck. But I've got no red and I'm too lazy to go to red fin. So I think we're just going to paint it metallic red and see what that looks like. But before we do that, we've got to key it up with this. We just got to scratch the body a little bit so the paint's got something to stick to. Then we're going to degrease it. Then we're going to spray it red. And then we're going to back it with the white so that the colour pops a bit more. While that's drying, we've got to change the connectors on the batteries. These are XT60s, and I'm running these IC5s. And then I used to run XT90s on everything, but I'm now switching over to these IC5s because I think they kind of stick together better. They don't come unplugged as often, and they can handle a little bit more current. And also, all the Armour cars and all the Lossy cars nowadays come with the EC5s. So it just makes it easier to convert everything over to the IC5s. So this plastic piece here is actually likely to snap when you jump it hard and it slams down and hits something. These can break. So I'm going to get a bit of heat shrink and just put it over the top, and hopefully that's going to make it last longer. There we go, all soldered up. So next, let's get back onto the body. And next, we're going to back it with some white because that makes the colour pop, just like this one here. Because otherwise, it's going to look a little bit see-through-y. Oh, right, so the paint's dried and you can kind of see the metallic in there, and it's going to look a lot better once we peel off that safety film. Next, we're going to drywall tape and shoe glue the body shell. Basically, we get the drywall tape, stick it to the inside, then stick it down with the shoe glue because it makes the body about 10 times stronger, because this is what happens to bodies when you don't do it. And when you do it, it just lasts so much longer. Alright, here we are on location. It's snowing, there's zero grip, but we're going to see what we can do. Obviously we can't give this a full destruction test because we just can't get the speed up, but we can have some fun anyway. Alright, enough waffle, more action. Oh. It's handling the snow pretty good. Ian's got the old shavage out over there. Creighton loving it in the snow. Oh, new body, footage. Oh, so we got these new IC5 battery connectors on here. They still come unplugged, but not as bad as XT90s, and I've got to make these wires longer. Look how tight these battery cables are. It's like a guitar string. Oh! Oh, come out again. Ian and Claire getting cold over there, look. Oh no, I killed it. Oh, alright, that's it. Game over. Oh, look. Dry shaft popped out. We're going to have a little modification for that. We're going to take it back to the shop and I will show you what we're going to do. So next, I've got a little fix for this. I actually got the idea from Martin, so we're going to do it to this. So when I first got this and done the RPM arm conversion, these used to pop out all the time. So I took out the washers that were on there and it kind of solved it for a little while. But now, I don't know, maybe the plastic's got more flexible. It started popping out again. So what you do is cut a little bit off of here. Not really sure how much. I'm going to go with 3mm. We can always put washers on there again if it's too much. So I've just used my vernier there just to mark it. Next, we're going to cut it off. Look at these beautiful custom RC upgrades, aluminium knuckles. The plastic ones, I've had a few pop out with these. Problem solved. This new stiffener bar that we put across the top there, look at that. Perfectly straight still. All the M2C goodies, they're beautiful as well. The scorched RC skid plate, we didn't really get a chance to test it out properly. It's caught the floor a couple of little times. Look, we've got to really take it out in the dry to get the full effect. And especially if we take this to a skate park with a concrete ramp. Guys, that's going to look epic. Imagine seeing all the sparks flying up the ramp as it goes up. The next we're going to do the same to the top arm, then we can bolt it back together. Hopefully, no more poppage. So I've just drilled out the hole just a tiny little bit, just because I want to make sure that these ball joints here are not going to bottom out in the end. Oh dear, bent shaft. When in doubt, give it a clout. Beautiful. Always worth putting these on when you're hitting stuff. You've only got one set of eyes. You never want to over-tighten any screws going into any plastic really, but especially RPM plastic, because it's a lot softer and you're very likely to strip out the threads. Check out these new tools what I've got, guys. I've got a whole set of 4 here, look. They've got nice hardened tips that are a perfect fit on these nuts and bolts. And it's got these slots in the handles, which makes it handy to put another wrench through there for some extra leverage if something is really stuck. Maybe not recommended, but it can be handy. And they come in a nice little carry case. If you want to know where you can get that lot from, link down below. Also, a link down below is going to be to these tools here. A lot of you guys always ask what these power tool tips are that I use in this electric driver. I've got a cheap set here. You only get the 4 main sizes, or I've got this other set here where you get all the Allen drivers, you get all the screwdriver tips, you get all the hex drivers, and you also get a nice handle. So you can put that in there and use it as a regular wrench. Got the holes in the handle as well for the extra leverage, and you can chuck them into your drill driver too. And these are also a perfect fit on all your Allen keys. They're made out of super high grade, hardened ground tips that are super precision. I did actually break one there. They're hardened, which makes it good, but obviously if you lever too much on something, it's going to shatter, which is what happened here. I actually had this on the end of this ratchet thing here, and something was so tight I couldn't get it off, and I really went for it. I put all my energy behind it, snapped it off. So probably asking a little bit too much for it, especially it being just a 2mm one. But no big deal. These are dirt cheap anyway. You can get a few sets for like next to nothing. So there we go. Now check it out, guys. We've got that drive shaft right in the cup there. If you look at the other side, it's got a little bit of a gap there. Maybe I cut a little bit too much off. I mean, there's only about 1mm of give there. The trouble is, when it's too tight, you might start bending shafts. I don't know, I suppose we'll give it a go. Anywho, I've just rebuilt this Creighton A-Test. There's going to be a video of that soon. I've got a full rebuild coming up on that with a load of upgrades. We've got all the parts for the full-size monster truck on the way, so we're going to be building that soon. So subscribe and smash the bell so you don't miss any of it.